Now, when Abby Silver was mongering this idea that I was hiding the shadow of a rape memory, I couldn't remember what had actually happened, and they were parading under a swimmer, another AS signifier around school, who was using me shamelessly. She chased me up a tree. Really embarrassing and humiliating me sexually as a child. Talk about sexual harassment. Now, I mean, her concierge used to come over and rub herself on me when I was a kid and stuff. They were friends of Warhol. One of them gave me Warhol's phone number. Or at least they were friends with the woman who shot him, who played the same game. Hey, I gave you a script. What happened to it? Hey, give it back. You vandalized me. And he gave her a bit part to make up for her having swiped the script she gave to him. But anyway, SAMU was full of experiments at the time. Screwdriver was really horrifying race graffiti everywhere, and Screwdriver crowd, I should say. And they were tearing doors off the hinges of parties. The skinheads were really running amok. They were insisting on free speech, insurrection type. We didn't know that Trump was behind it at the time. We didn't know that this dude who was a mouthpiece for it, Adam Eisenstadt, was working for Trump at the time, as he was for Shulman, who was ripping off the Carnegie for millions of dollars. Chased me out of town, got me tortured and poisoned with this story they were telling. And this Dalai-like woman with this shirt that said the persistence of memory was stalking back and forth. There was another weird woman who looked like her up by Jimmy Florida's a lot. And of course, Di had called me to announce the party line about Nunnan, but she's friends with the Crocagra Grossa Corona. So how did they know in December 8th, 1980, that AIDS was coming? Nobody else did. This Di was in immunogenetics and Satanism early back in the 70s when I met the Di who called me. So we know some of the nuts and bolts, but they had Rebecca Neimark putting FUCK on the cover of the newspaper and stuff. And they had this radio KKK, this, in the studio theater. And you're supposed to laugh, hey, that's really realistic, man. But then Carbonell uses Wattmaker Karsh neurohypnosis to, and Pete Shaw comes in, you've been porking anybody lately, And Saul Brecker was really nasaling me with stuff, and it brought back that awful memory of that story of, people I shouldn't name getting off at Midnight Climax, or Climax One, it was called, style behavior. And they were inundating me with this terrible stuff. And Michael Reagan really wants to get his favorite scene, He wants to get it from the Lakey Chops crowd on video, and they want to see what, Donald showed me, which was horrifying. They use sicko signifiers of it in the layout of the copyboard that they put in the Media Mecca puppet show, which was a Soldier of Fortune magazine, something they set, which Carbonell has never gotten on video, and Michael Reagan wants it for his favorite scene,